By age 35, all women around the world will begin producing less estrogen and progesterone. Yes, there is always an exception to a rule, and some women will go through this at a younger age if they have a medical condition. But for the rest of us, it's a very real thing after age 35 for all of us. Absolutely every single woman on earth. Since we're not really aware of the effects of these two hormones, it doesn't sound like it's a big deal for most women under 35. Yet, this hormonal drop will trigger up to 40 symptoms, and with no exaggeration, it lasts anywhere from 10 to 15 years. This 10 to 15 year period is called perimenopause, not menopause, perimenopause. Menopause is a very short period. It's only 12 consecutive months without a period, and we don't actually realize we're going through it until those 12 months have passed. During perimenopause, our menstrual cycles continue to go on, and we're still able to get pregnant. So on the surface, nothing changes, and that is why it's so hard to understand or connect the dots that we are going through a huge hormonal shift. Perimenopause is 10 to 15 years of a constant estrogen and progesterone decline, and the body does feel it. I'm almost at the end of my perimenopause journey, and I've sadly learned, as I have tried to understand why we only find out about this period when we're in the middle of this crazy hormonal imbalance that our bodies go through. The generations before us faced this phase alone. No internet to search for information or find answers, or women to talk about the same or similar symptoms we were experiencing. This has always been a silent phase for women. The generation before me had absolutely no knowledge of what was going on for them, emotionally, physically, and biologically. I am so incredibly thankful to be going through perimenopause now, when it's 2021. My generation has found the internet and a way to use it wisely. We are now able to share information about perimenopause with other women. The internet and social media have literally become our main tools to learn and teach one another. We still have a long way to go. There is a lot of work to be done to build a loud perimenopause awareness movement. Having said that, I've been reaching out to women from different countries to learn and compare how nationalities, cultures, diets, and society influence the perimenopause experience worldwide. This first video is about perimenopause in Japan. For some time now, I've been coming across studies and articles about how Japanese women don't experience this hormonal shift like we do, at least here in the US. A few weeks ago, I found Kyoko Nagata online. She leads a perimenopause and menopause group in Japan by the name of CHEBURA. Now, I don't speak a word of Japanese, and she speaks very little English, but I had so many questions for her. I wrote her an email anyway, and I had Google do the translation for me. Not only she replied immediately, she was so freaking sweet to arrange a Zoom meeting with the assistance of an interpreter to answer all of my questions. Plus, coordinated absolutely everything to accommodate the time difference between Japan and where I am in California. It was a surprising and learning experience about what really goes on in Japan. Before I stop talking, please go to her website, support her, follow her, say hello. She is really going above and beyond to stop the future generations from struggling with perimenopause. Kyoko is doing a phenomenal job in Japan. She can't do this alone, like I can't do this by myself. It has got to be all of us, for all of us. If you have a story that you would like to share about your journey, or if you'd like others to know about the reality of perimenopause from your corner of the world, please send me a message on Facebook and I will contact you right away. I have no doubt that together we can make a difference. I have zero doubt in my mind that you and I and all of us can raise awareness.
CHEBURA means the change of life.
It's the meaning change of life. But when you speak change of life quicker, it sounds like CHEBURA. I mean, make it short, CHEBURA. The konenki in the sentence a lot. It's actually we actually translate to menopause, but we meant perimenopause.
Ninety percent of women feels menopausal symptoms in Japan.
Yeah, with 90% of the women have experienced the symptom of perimenopause. But in Japan, because of the culture, they think that they have a very negative image of perimenopause and something should not talk in a public. And historically, the women was believed that being patient is the beauty. So even if you are struggle with the pain or uncomfort, should not say it. Being quiet is the beauty. So sometimes the lady saying like is having the very bad perimenopause symptoms just because you have lots of time in the life. It is a little bit better now. People, the ladies have a voice a little bit better than before, and they are more open to talk about it in the public better than before. Since 2016, the government encouraged the lady to join the public to working place, more encouraging to have an equal opportunity for the women. And also, since then, women also by herself try to understand or study, have a knowledge about self-care, about the women's body and the health. So it is a little bit, little by little better after, especially after 2016.
I start this activity. The reason why I have two reasons. The first, I'm instructor. I was instructor for after birth mother. I saw and I hear they have many serious symptoms. They over 40 years old. And I saw they give up their dream and works. And second, my mother had a serious menopausal disorder. So she became depressed and it seems so difficult for her to handle. When I でそう当時私高校生だったんですけど
When she was in high school.
So
She couldn't live with the family because of her mother's depression was very serious.
so
Before she started this organization, she was the healthcare instructor for the women just had the birth, taking care of the mother's health after the birth. And she had so much voice from the mother, discomfort in the body, unhealthy problem after the birth, and harder to go back to work, harder to go back to the normal life. And that's the one reason. The other reason, when she was a high school student, she had experience. Her mother had very serious depression because of menopause perimenopause symptoms. Mother had the very serious depression. She couldn't live together with the family. So once, when she was doing the instructor job, she remembered that her mother's situation was come from after the birth, after the during the perimenopause, and she knew that so many women suffering after the birth and cannot go back to the normal life, or can need to give up her career. She was wondering, is there any organization can help those ladies? She looked around and she couldn't find any in Japan. And if there is nothing, no organization here to help them, I will make one. I have the idea to tell the positive idea of the perimenopause, because to get the people's attention, not only for the people suffering from those pain, but the people around her, all kind of age, generations, men, women, everybody. She would like to get the attention from them and let them accept the perimenopause symptoms as like normal things. It could be happen to anybody. Want to inform as like natural, normal things to the people. Want to inform to so many people. She wanted to get attention. She focused on how to get people's attention. She of course need to tell about the truth, which is negative side, but also try to find out the positive image about it. Also, she learned how to inform to the people, how to announce to the people, also to get attention. So she has a class for that. She can teach how to inform to the people, and she used the technique. Sometimes she made a musical, and sometimes she used the stand-up comedy. And so it is a very collect information, including negative. Also, she can make it as fun, so that can get attention from so many different people. And she believed that it is very important, not only for the ladies who have this problem, very important, people around her need to know about it. Food is also very important, but it's not only our food. According to the study, the exercise is very important, and exercise make the decrease of the frequency of hot flash occurs, or even if it's occurred by exercise, can make it lighter. And so she will say, diet, of course, exercise, and the lifestyle need to consider to make it lighter. Okay, so according to the study, soy is very, very good for the female hormone. And in Japan, since we are the little, we start eating soy or soy product. And also, soy has is a flavone that's very similar to the female hormone. But it's not only they have ingredients of female hormone in soy. Also in the digestion system, they have alcohol. So the soy going to the body. In digestion system, they have alcohol and mixed up, and it creates something very similar to female hormone. That is helping for the lady. In Japan, people start eating soy since they are little. So 1 out of 2, they have those alcohol in the digestion system. According to study, people in outside of Japan, Western people, most of them does not have it. So even if they eat soy in the digestion system, they don't combine with alcohol, which doesn't produce similar to female hormone. So some 3 kind of approach. First of all, having good knowledge is the most important things. Need to know what is happening in the body and knowing that what is perimenopause will happen. And second is exercise. We approach that CHEBURA exercise, change of life exercise. The CHEBURA is designed for everybody. They don't need the time, and they don't need the money. They don't need to use the tool, so they don't need the money. Only the body need it. You can do everywhere, anywhere, anytime. And third of all, they need a community. You are not. She wants to inform them. You are not the alone. We have a community. You need to know the community, and so we can discuss about it, and you can meet the people which have similar symptoms as you are feeling. Those 3 of them, I am approaching for them. CHEBURA exercise is made especially for the women in perimenopause, some who has typical women's discomfort, especially for the autonomic system, and such as most of the women having the issue, the leaking in the pants. So she does those exercise especially for those symptoms, and it's all of them are designed to do in the life. It's no need of any tools. So during the working in the office, they can do, even cooking she can do, and also watching TV. So anytime in the life, it's a little bit time she needs, but they can do in the everyday life for them. I have that easy to get tired and a stiff shoulder. But she thinks I have this symptom very often just because their knowledge is easy to get tired, having a stiff shoulder is equal to the premenopause symptoms. Because of lack of knowledge, people doesn't say other symptoms. Of course, they know the hot flashes. But for example, it's easy to forget, headaches. Most of the ladies doesn't think that it's equal to one of the premenopause symptoms. It's a big problem. Many women have almost no opportunity to know about premenopause symptoms. Someone who try to get the information need to look for it, then she will know it. But just being there, almost there's no opportunity to know about it. So it's very rare that the mother teach the daughter, grandma teach the granddaughter. Of course, some family does that, but it really depends on the mother or grandma how they experience it. Just because they don't have too much knowledge about perimenopause, they only can tell about their experience. This is getting a little bit better because of the CHEBURA's activities, also going to the government or companies. So company have those seminar for the ladies, so they have little bit more opportunity than before to know about perimenopause symptoms in the company, in a working environment, because they do serve those information. In Japan, still comparing with other country, in Japan, they still have so like a negative image of putting hormones and also taking drug. It's people very hesitate to do that. So still people easily accept about better nutrition, taking supplements, or doing the exercise. Yes. So she feels like looks like we are different, but actually, people thinking similar, having a similar idea because HLT considered as dangerous too in the Western side. Um, of course, natural is the very good things. So she thinks having study and having knowledge, our idea she feels like our idea getting closer and closer. They prefer taking Chinese medicine. The government is taking care of the human's health. I mean, women's health. The government need to keep the people healthy. Otherwise, there's a overpayment, over expense to the medical expense or medical testing. And so, to think about the future in Japan, they need to keep the people healthy in Japan. The government encouraged the company to give the education for the women, give the prize for the company if they do have some activities or having opportunity to provide the information about the women's health. The city which Kyoko is living in have government send out the leaflet to the women's house. Whenever the lady turn to 40, they will receive the booklet about about the perimenopause information together with a coupon for the breast cancer checkup And they do have, in the city, they do provide 3 times a year, free of charge, women's health information and introducing exercise. They are provided. And she wished that the government will expand this service other city too. And also, in general, need to increase the education in Japan. They do teach. They are very delayed about the sex education too, and they do inform. They do educate people until the birth, but after the birth till the perimenopause, they have no education right now. And so she wished that the government will improve those education. So it's almost the same in Japan too. The 40s, 50s is the most high percentage for the person who does suicide, but they were considered. They are not considered as they suicide because during the premenopause period, they do consider as because of economy. %70 of women will give up the opportunity to promote because of her body condition, health condition. It's due to perimenopause symptoms. It doesn't mean that she will get fired. She need to leave the job. She just give up the opportunity to promote. She just stay as she is. Goal is to provide the information to all the people to eliminate those people who suffer with the loneliness in the family, such as she had experienced when she was in high school. She doesn't want to let anyone experience that having problem. The mother went through the serious symptom in perimenopause, and the kids need to suffer with seeing the mother went through it. Both of them happen because of the lack of knowledge. So she would like to provide all the information that let them have the knowledge about perimenopause, knowing how to take care of themselves with the right knowledge and being healthy, having good mind and body. She will be super happy that to make the all the women in the world healthy and happy.